Hi everyone, happy World Speech Day. The title of my speech is Togetherness with a play on the word two, T-W-O, togetherness. I believe our world is in such chaos, disarray, and disharmony because we as individuals are trapped in relationships that don't bring us joy, meaning, fulfillment, content, or inspiration. And that begins at the most fundamental level, the love relationship. And that stems from lack of a shared vision and clash of core values. When that happens is when we inevitably turn outside to fulfill needs that cannot be met inside. And that's when we bring disharmony inside out. And when outside is seen to be more beautiful than inside, the conflict goes into concentric, vicious cycles. I wish I didn't have to go home. If only I could spend more time with you. Sounds familiar? Esther Perel, the relationship coach, says the quality of our lives is determined by the quality of our relationship. Agree? But many of us don't experience higher quality because we begin with the wrong foot, with society telling us who we are and what we should want, when instead we should appreciate others for what life is like for them, but embark on our own journey to learn about what makes us tick and what doesn't. And only then are we in a place to look for the significant other. Marriage is a symbol of unity, it is a union, and it is unitedness. Like any other relationship, it is about we. A marriage, though, is a relationship above all relationships. It is a relationship with the one whom I have a hope to realize my full potential and use that state of full potentialness to contribute to the world. Marriage is not always fun, laughter, and happiness, but it must deliver joy, meaning, fulfillment, content, and inspiration to both parties of the union. How does that happen? It is when two people are connected at the highest level of connection that can be experienced in togetherness, TWO, in mind, heart, soul, and body. Meaning that when both are stimulated intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually, for example, when you know what he's thinking, when he feels what you're feeling, and when she can sense that something is not okay with him, etc., one has then given up the I for the greater we. And in this higher connection, there is deep and sustaining passion and chemistry. And naturally, we would be drawn to connect physically and use our five senses to express to and impress upon one another what we mean to each other in mind, heart, and soul. That is the highest ultimate connection. That should deepen with time, but sadly for most, that's not the case. Many people will say, don't dream, get real. You are too choosy. Don't be too idealistic. They may mean well, but it took me a long time to realize that just because they don't dream my dream and they don't choose what I choose, that I should give up mine and go with the herd. And it also doesn't mean that I won't find my significant other. I believe that we must dream and dream big in life and most essentially in love, because nothing great ever happens in ordinariness. Dream big, but set small goals to work towards them. And if we think small, we will become smaller. When I look around me, I find so many people in marriages without unity. They live under the same roof but lead their own lives. I see people cheating, lying to their partners. I see infidelity, unfaithfulness, philandering, and I see relationships go south, starting with enduring unmet needs, and endurance turns into tolerance, meaning you endure pain and the pain grows and the endurance devolves into resentment and you try to tolerate. I see conflicts that are sometimes catastrophic. And I tend to believe that many people could have had the chance for a much better relationship had their self-awareness and partner selection process been better. I have my own 4 tenets of an ideal relationship, and I believe that we must know the answers before getting into any arrangements. Number 1, commitment to making each other top priority above and beyond anyone and anything else, and not just at the start, throughout the relationship. And if shared vision is what keeps us going and picks us up when we are down and out, and if shared values make the journey more harmonious, then there needs to be shared mission to implement practical actions and design measures that help us track our progress. That's commitment. And commitment includes, number 2, passion and chemistry. Many people say that passion and chemistry are just relationship kick starters and that it will not and need not stay. At the start, you can't wait to see and speak and be with someone. Why? Because that person has been in your mind, your heart, and your soul. Why? Because you've put in effort to be in their shoes, you've tried to feel what they are feeling, and your souls become mates. So it's only natural that the body follows. You have worked hard to create these experiences that make you choose to make a life together in the first place. Compatibility. But sadly, for many, once they have got someone, be it marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, or just the bed, the efforts stop. Mission accomplished. Move on to other matters. Would you say to your teeth, for example, that, hey teeth, I've spent 50 times a day brushing you for the past 5 months, so no need to do so anymore because you're good, I'm good, and you shan't rot. But they do rot, right, when you stop brushing and you end up looking for a new set of teeth. Just like you end up looking for someone else for passion, chemistry, and compatibility when you stop working on the relationship. Number 3, being there for and being there with the significant other is essential. And again, this will naturally happen when number 1 has happened. Commitment to making each other top priority. Number 4 is shared core love values. But before we can share core values, we need to first know what our own values are. For example, I am a miser and you are a spendthrift. We will spend most of our lives in dispute about money matters that will spill over to other parts of our lives. And were I an asexual and you highly sexual, and worse, if I, the asexual, expect fidelity, then no measure to close the gap will lead to a sweet spot. Perhaps a bittersweet spot. And we need to be honest if that's truly acceptable or not, because we can't change anybody. Eli J. Finkel, a social psychology professor who studies romantic relationships, said that the average marriage has been getting worse over time, even as the best marriages have been getting better. And the best marriages in this era are much better than the best marriages of all other past eras. Why? Because there is a dramatic shift in the substance of people's expectations in their search for a significant other. In the past, people looked to marriage for survival, but today it is to meet the need for passion and intimacy and to facilitate voyages into self-discovery and personal growth. Finkel uses Maslow's analogy. Instead of calling it Maslow's triangle of needs, he calls it Mount Maslow. So at the very bottom, people used to marry for physiological reasons, still do. And in agrarian societies, they marry to gain more land so that they can plant, so that they can feed. And then when that is enough, the reasons shift to marrying for the smooth running of a household. And then after that, people marry for safety, for the sense of belonging, for love, and for esteem. And at the very peak, people marry for self-actualization. But because it is steep terrain and the higher you go, the thinner the air, not many can peak. Success at the highest altitude requires the investment of significant time and energy in the marriage. So to those here who can afford to, I would say dream, search, and work for a beautiful relationship with the one that you love, who loves you, and wants what you want. And one by one, together, you will set examples for others to follow to make a more harmonious world. Thank you.